A very warm welcome to the top three qualifiers for the FIA Formula One Japanese Grand Prix. In third place, Oscar Piastri. In second place, George Russell. And taking his second consecutive pole position in Formula One, our pole sitter, Kimi Antonelli. Kimi, many congratulations. A tremendous lap in Q3. Secured pole by nearly 0.3 of a second. Just how good was that lap?
I think I had a really clean session. Felt, good. I had a strong run one, and then from there on, I just built. I built the momentum, and obviously, it was a bit trickier than FP3, especially at the start of qualifying. I think the wind increased a little bit, and it felt a little bit more difficult, the car overall. But then we just, tried to adapt, and we made some tweak with aero balance, and found a good compromise. And then the lap in Q3 was good. Was a shame for the last one, but I think was overall a very strong session.
Are you surprised by the gap to George?
Yeah, I am. But with this regulation, it's very easy to gain or lose 0.3, whatever the gap was. But it's really easy to gain and lose time. So it's, it was the same for me in Melbourne. But, it's super quick. It's been super quick around here. And we'll see tomorrow in the race how we're going to do.
There's been a lot of talk during the build-up to qualifying about how a lap would feel around Suzuka with these 2026 regulations. Tell us, how did you feel inside the car?
I mean, I think obviously there are part of the track where you're a little bit limited, a bit handcuffed on driving because of energy. But I think still the S's are pretty good fun. Because at the end of the day, the car on the chassis side, it's very good fun. And, the S's in qualifying were getting pretty quick. So it was good fun. Of course, there's still work to do and work, to work around, in these big tracks with the energy, how to find a solution that allows us to push even more and drive without thinking too much, especially in certain places. But overall, I think was good fun, the qualifying, because at the end also you look at the lap times and they're not so far off from last year. So I think it's been qualifying. I mean, today's been good fun.
Let's throw it forward to tomorrow now. First of all, traditionally, it's been difficult to overtake at Suzuka. Do you think that'll be different tomorrow with these cars?
Probably. I mean, we're seeing obviously how much easier it is to follow, and obviously when you get the overtake mode, how much more battery you can harvest and then deploy in the straight. So you never know, it can give good racing, but still I don't think it's going to be as easy as China and Melbourne, because obviously the track, first of all, is quite a bit tighter, and you don't have as many straights where you can overtake, or straights and then big braking where you can make the move. You have a lot of fast entries, so it's not going to be easy, but that's why it's crucial to have a good start, and then we'll see from there how the pace is going to be.
And the long run pace of the car looks good, right?
Yeah, I mean, long run has been good. Of course, let's see tomorrow how the weather is going to be, how the wind is going to be, because you never know, it can shift. Let's see also with temperatures how hot it's going to be, and then I'll try to be ready. Try to cover as many scenarios in order to be ready for tomorrow.
All right, good luck with that. Thank you. George, let's come to you now. It looked like you were chasing the car throughout qualifying. Was that the case?
It was really odd, to be honest. We made a setup adjust going into qualifying, and the car just did not feel the same as it has in the whole weekend. And you saw my first laps in Q1. I was down in P7, P8, and we had to make a massive adjust during qualifying with the front wing to adapt. So Yeah, the team have already had a look. We don't know whether something incorrect was done or what happened, but I'm kind of glad again to be in this position, because after Q1 I was like, I'm not sure where we'll end up.
George, what were the main issues with the car and at what bit of the racetrack as well?
We made a mechanical issue to the car on the rear end, and it was just mainly through the S's. I couldn't attack any of the corners. The rear was trying to step out on me throughout. But yeah, I'm sure we'll try and see what happened. There's not really anything we can do now. But as I said, it's a good place to start for tomorrow, and it's going to be a long race.
A good place to start, but what does this mean for the race tomorrow?
Yeah, it's not ideal, I don't think. As I said, I've been really comfortable with the car this whole weekend, and it just, in qualifying, something didn't quite feel right. So let's see tonight. Maybe we'll get some answers. Maybe I can adjust my driving style to compensate, but definitely not the session we would have wanted. 2 weeks in a row, qualifying's been a bit tricky.
And George, what do you make of the gap to your pursuers? The whole grid has closed up a bit here at Suzuka, but are you surprised that, well, for example, Oscar is as close as he is?
Yeah, to be honest, qualifying was very close between the Ferraris and McLaren throughout. So that was probably a bit of a surprise to us, because we both had a very strong FP3 session. We thought we had a bit of margin to the competitors. Obviously, we're still P1 and P2, so that's great, but clearly the others are closing in.
All right, George, well done. Thank you for that. And Oscar, let's come to you now. Great performance by you. Just how clean was the session for you?
I think it was, pretty well executed. I think the final lap of Q3 was a bit of a mess, but apart from that, I think we built into things well. I had a pretty good idea of what I wanted from the car after FP3, and I think we did a good job of achieving that. And then also how you have to drive. You've got to do some interesting things. So I think just staying disciplined on that worked well. And I think happy to end up where we are. I think everyone seemed to chop and change a bit through qualifying. We didn't look great in Q1, and then Q2 we came alive and managed to hold that pace. I thought the Ferraris were going to be on pole at one point, so it was all a bit of a mixed bag. But happy to end up third.
You say the final lap of Q3 didn't go well. Was there more time on the table? Could you be even closer to the Mercedes today?
Maybe a tiny bit, but it's always impossible to know. I think especially with these cars, like Kimi said, it's very easy to think you're going all a bit faster and doing the right thing, and you end up going slower because the engine doesn't like it. So it's a tricky balance, but I think it was pretty close to what we could have done.
It's been a pretty bumpy road for McLaren so far this year. How encouraged are you by your pace relative to these guys next to you?
It's nice to be closer, obviously. I think we're learning more and more about the car and about the power unit every weekend. I think, this weekend in Suzuka, let's say being slower in the S's than Mercedes is not necessarily a bad thing, which is weird to say. But I think we're saved a little bit by that. So I think we've been more competitive in general. But we're under no illusion. We've still got a pretty big gap to fill.
Looking ahead to tomorrow, you're lacking racing laps this year. Do you feel on the back foot compared to these guys? Lack of knowledge of these new regs in a race situation?
Not necessarily, but you don't know what you don't know until you're in the situation. So. I've tried to learn as much as I can from watching the races, and even through practice. There's been some interesting moments with cars at different speeds in different parts of the track. I overtook someone into Degner 1 yesterday, which was different, but you're learning all the time, and I think just the level of awareness you need is very high. But I think ultimately pace is going to be the thing that decides your result and the start as well. So, maybe not the start if it's these guys around you, but we'll see what we can do.
All right, thank you for that. Let's now open this to the floor, please. Remember, name and publication. First one, please.
Jake Balsall, Watersport. A question for all three, if I could ask. over the final runs of Q3, we didn't see that much in the way of improvements. I don't think any of the top 6 improved. Kimi, you've already said the reasons why, but was it kind of track specific? Was there perhaps changing conditions, or was it just sort of coincidence that nobody was able to kind of put the lap together on their second runs? Thank you.
Well, I think for sure the track was not evolving as much. Probably stopped evolving from Q2 onwards. It was getting cooler, so getting the tires in the right window was not as easy. And I think also at some point you start to be limited by what the power unit can do. Obviously corner speed can start to get higher, but then the PU can start to be a limiting factor. So I think that could be a reason. But overall, was with the wind as well, was not easy to put the lap together. Was a bit gusty, so sometime from corner to corner was changing.
George?
Yeah, I think the track temp drop in and tyres are quite hard. There's new track surface here. It was probably just got a bit too cold, and that was probably a factor.
I think I just tried too hard. Tried to push a bit much, and the rear end said no a few times. But it is difficult to know, because sometimes you feel like you do a better lap, and like Kimi said, you go faster through the corners and you run into some problems with deployment. So it's not always that easy to understand, why you make jumps in lap time and stuff like that. But in my case, just trying too hard.
How much grip did the new track surface on the second half of the lap have?
I think a lot. When we resurfaced the first half of the track last year, it was, like driving on 2 completely different circuits. This year, obviously, it's the first sector is degraded a little bit, but the second half of the lap is, what the grip was like last year. So I think that also explains a little bit of why we're close to last year's times, because I think we've gained a lot of grip in the second half of the lap. But it's good fun when you got more grip.
Thank you for that. Any more? Yes.
Kenichi Leiby from Motorsport.com Japan. Question for George. This weekend is a home Grand Prix for your engineer, Mr. Katsuo Hara. So could you share your thoughts on him for Japanese fans who hoping to see Japanese people standing on the podium in Japanese Grand Prix since 2012? Because you seems to have a great chance to get on the podium with him.
Yeah, I mean, Katsu's one of the most talented engineers we have in the whole team, and definitely one of the most hard-working individuals also in the team. So I feel very fortunate to have him as one of my engineers. He stood on the podium with me in Canada last year, which was a very proud moment for everybody. So obviously, great for him to have his home race in Japan, and great for him to be part of a team.
Thank you, George. Any more? If we have no more, we will leave it there. Very well done, gentlemen. Good luck in the race tomorrow. Thank you.